Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am talking about the brushes that I use in all my videos. So if you'd like to see what brushes I use, then please keep on watching. Start off with a foundation brush, and my foundation go-to brush is the M439 brush. It's a domed brush. It's used. All of my brushes are going to be dirty, FYI. I just got done with the video. But if I don't do Beauty Blender, this is the brush that I use. I also like to go in with this E7 just for a smaller application. But for the most part, it's this buddy right here. For powder, I've got the E2. She's a big fluffy, domed. Good for, she's got good coverage all over your face and fast. You could really pack on and you can brush away real easy with this one. Alright, now I'm going to go into my bronzer brushes. For contour, I like to use this M104. She's small. She can fit right into that spot with no problem at all. But this also can be used as a blush brush, but I use it for contour. For bronzer, I like to go in with this M142. Yeah, and it's just it's a fluffy, but she comes to a point in the middle, and it's good for blending out. This brush really blends out fast, so if you can get your hands on it, it's a good one to have too. For highlighting, I've got several brushes that I use for highlighting. It just really depends on what highlight I'm going in. But if I really want a diffused highlight just for the makeup, no makeup days, I'll use one of these brushes. Just depending on what I got going on, what I'm in the mood for, really. For a highlight that is in a dust form, I'll use this. It's a big fluffy. It's the M500, and don't put on the powder as if I would with a brush like this, where it will go and then you got to work that out. If you use a brush like this, it's already blending it for you as soon as you lay it to your face. That's another good one to have. For more intense, I'll use this. This is the 510, M510. This brush, and let me see, where's that other brush? And the E61 brush. These are my most go-to brushes used out of all my collection. But you get in it, you got a synthetic and then a natural. If I had to say pick these two up, it would be these two. Unless you're more of a fan person. Now, I do like my fans for more subtle and diffused. These will do the same thing too. If you want an intense look, you can gain them quick on those. For my blushes, I like to use the M106, which is a domed blush brush, and this brush really helps to blend out as you're applying too. This is a good brush. So is this one. This is the E4. This one's got like that, it goes higher on one side than the other. I like this because it fits perfect on my cheekbone. That's the reason why I like this one so much. But this is a good one. For nose contour, now I do have a lot of brushes, like, let's see, what is this? The M514. This is a fluffy. I do like to apply and then come back and blend with this. And what I mean by apply is just to take a flat line, make that line like I was showing you guys how I do in my other video, and then come back and blend out with the M514. This is just a flat M124, this flat one. You can use these two to do the same thing this one brush does. This brush is tapered like that, other one was, where it's short on one side and longer on the other. But what I like to do is I take this longer side, just the very tip end of it, and apply product, and then I'll flip the brush and just blend it out with the clean side of the brush. This is the M324. This little brush means business, and it's only one, whereas the other ones you have to have two. But this is a good, nice little brush. Alright, I'm going to talk about my most used eye brushes. Eye brushes, you can really go into some bank on eye brushes. I mean, look. In this cup, I'm not going to be talking about. I'm going to talk about my most frequent brushes that I use. Don't get me wrong, I do use those brushes, but my go-to brushes that I go to and use the most is the ones that I'm going to talk about in this video. I mean, if I sat here and I talked about everything that I've got laid out plus what's in this, you guys would be falling asleep to my voice. My first go-to is the M532. This brush is my fluffy brush. I never put product on this brush. This brush is solely for going back in and blending. This is, when I say get a big fluffy, this is the brush that I'm talking about. This brush is top dog when it comes to blending out any harsh lines. The next fluffy brush that I use is the M505. This brush I do put product on. This is the brush that I use 90% of the time for transition. This is a good brush. The next brush I come in with is the M433, and this little brush means business. This is the brush that you want to have when you are doing outer V and crease work, because the way it tapers, it comes up in the middle a little longer than it does on each side, which helps to blend out any shadow you may have. When you want to do outer V work, this is the brush that you want to have. The next brush I'm going to talk about is the M578. This is a pencil brush. It's good. I like to use this brush for applying in the highlight in the tear duct, and also on this outer V. Just sometimes I like to take and just loop around this way, and this is the brush that I would use. Before applying any shadow, I always take this Morphe flat. This is just a flat brush. It don't have a number on it. I'm sure that I got this in a set, but it's big enough and flat enough that I just come back in when I put, what is that primer potion, and then I go back to set it. This is the brush that I use. It's a paddle brush. And I just go back and pack any translucent or just a flat white that I may have in a palette that I'm working with. This is what I use to set that with. You can, there's other brushes like this one. This was the M124. And she's just a flat one. You could do the same thing with this. I use this brush for applying to the lid, shadow to the lid, or glitter. I love to use this brush to use glitter too. The M421 is just like that one, except it's a little denser. This brush is a concealer brush, or I like to use this for my glitter glues. But this can be used for a concealer brush. Fluffy brush that I use under my eyes is the M507, and she's domed, but she just gets right underneath there and can smoke out anything with ease. This is a good little brush to have. Another good brush to have for smudging out under the lines is under your lash line is the M213. And she's just a small little smudger brush. I don't know if this is actually a lip brush or if it's actually a smudger. because some of my brushes I use them for what they're not supposed to be, but they work good. Like I said earlier, you can really go into bank on brushes and not have a brush to do a good application. All of these brushes that I am telling you about, you get a great application out of. But this is a good little smudge brush if you just want something to smudge under the line, under the lash line. This M432 flat, this is good for one if you don't like to smudge, you just want to stamp. This is a good brush for that. It's flat, it's super small. She's a good little brush. For detailed glitter work, I like to go in with the E37. It's just a small pencil brush, and when I say small, she's teeny. She's tiny. I think this brush may be a good liner brush, but I never apply my liner with a brush like this. I always go in with the bent ones. But this would be good for lining under the lash line too. I just always use it for glitter. The E36 is a good brush for applying in the inner corner highlights. This little brush can, because like you can put it in and you can also swirl it and it'll go ahead and start blending product out for you too. That's another good one to check out. Now I'm going to talk about my bent liners. I went through bent liner after bent liner after bent liner trying to find a small enough bent liner. I couldn't do it, guys. Look, I've got this Morphe one. What is this? The 217. Don't get me wrong, she's small. It wasn't what I was looking for. I wanted something so small that I could get by my lash line and just give that. On those no makeup days, you just want to have a little bit of something there, nothing much. This is the brush that you want. This is a Makeup Geek brush. This is not even a Morphe brush. I got this off of Makeup Geek's website out of a bundle of her eye brushes. I use some of her eye brushes, but I'm mostly into Morphe. But this brush, it's a bristle brush. It's not a felt or anything. This is one of the most precise little bent brushes I have ever come across. And I bought, look, I'm not kidding. I was into these, trying these. What is this? This is the B21. That one, bent one that I just showed you. Lord, I shouldn't have put it back in here. This one, this is a small one by Morphe too, the 250-0. This is a good one too. If you're not into bent ones, this would be one from Morphe that I'd recommend because she is tiny. M250-0 if you just wanting something from Morphe. Now, all of my Morphe brushes, I don't have a Morphe code, but I do have a friend that has one. I'll leave her link down on my screen here, so that way if you guys want to get a Morphe brush but you don't want to pay full price, you can use her code and save yourself some money. I don't, like I said, I don't have a Morphe code. Maybe one day, who knows, but I've tried brushes and brushes and brushes and brushes. Morphe has good brushes if you are, you know, like some of my brushes really over time need to be replaced. But when I say over time, some of these brushes I've had for 3 years and I'm still using them. If you want to make a big investment on your brushes, I would say check out Sigma. Sigma has bomb brushes, but like I said, you will pay for them. But just to have a brush, this is my eye brush. This is some of my face. This is some actually highlight and contour. This is my blush and powder. too much. Like I said, if I sat here and talked about every brush I had, we'd be here all day. This is my powder and foundation. Like I said, I just wanted to make a quick video on some of the brushes that I use on a daily basis to get a decent application. Alright guys, that's it for me. Please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in my next video.